Well, good afternoon everyone. My name is David Billington, Maritime, New Zealand, part of the Salvage division. What I've done today is taken the opportunity to do a little bit of a timeline, just talk you through the events of which we experienced this morning. So if you do excuse me as I peer down at my notes, to be as factual as possible as I can with what I pass across to you. Thank you. At about 06:15, Maritime Salvage unit did a recon flight over the Rena. It was observed at that time that there was a slight change in the stern section of the vessel. We returned back ashore and we went to meet the salvage team People's Spitzer. At about 07:45, Maritime Salvage unit met with Spitzer following their flight. Spitzer's assessment was similar to Maritime New Zealand, namely that there was a change in the stern section after Rena. Spitzer based this assessment on visual observations from the flyby and also as well from the onboard sensor systems on board Rena. The salvage team plan for that day was to actually go out on board Rena, that is the stern section, with the view of trying to stabilise the condition if possible. At about 08:30 hours, the salvage team contacted Maritime New Zealand Salvage Unit, advising of a significant change in the motion sensors on board the Rena. At about the same time as well, the Go Canopus, that is the anchor handler attached stern of the Rena, also reported changes in the Rena's condition. At about 8:45, the stern section of Rena started to trim significantly by the stern, which was an indication that the vessel was being subject to severe downflooding. As the condition of the stern section of the Rena changed, Go Canopus was tasked to try, with best endeavours, to reposition the stern section of Rena on the reef. The reasoning behind this was to allow the container recovery vessel Smith Bonio to move in closer once back on site. However, it proved impossible due to the weight of the ship and the water going in. At about 09:20, Maritime New Zealand's salvage team was actually at the wreck site. At about 09:20 also, the Spitzer members were on site. They also landed on the forepart of the Rena. The intention there was obviously to monitor and assess the condition of the stern section. Between 09:30 and 1000 hours, Maritime Salvage team observed the aft section of the Rena progressively sinking. At about 1000 hours, Maritime New Zealand Salvage team reported that the stern section of the Rena had repositioned itself on the reef, with the majority of it being underwater. Also, Maritime New Zealand Salvage team reported that there was a discharge of debris off the wreck, which included wood and containers, and there was some oil sighted too. Several of the vessel's life-saving appliances were released, one of which included a man-overboard smoke flow and also several life rafts. A brief discussion with the salvage team afterwards, Spitzer that is in terms of moving forward. Just some bullet points to put to you here. The weather has to settle before the salvage team can get out to the on the stern section for obvious reasons. The inspection of the hull will be done by divers. There'll need to be a detailed depth survey around the vessel just to establish the soundings around the ship. And also there'll be an assessment of the possibility of the Smith Bonio positioning over the wreck side.